Hello and welcome to Comic Book Now. This is ComicBook.com's live streaming show direct to you on Facebook, all you beautiful people on the internet. We're going to break down the top stories of the last 24 hours and sometimes the last few minutes when really exciting stuff is going on. For all these stories and so much more, head on over to ComicBook.com and check all of that stuff out. Now I know on Fridays you're used to seeing Brandon Davis' smiling face here, but he is currently lost amongst the multiverse and I have taken over. I am your host, Ashley Victoria Robinson, here to bring you all the news stories of the day. So let's start with Marvel Comics, why don't we? Everybody loves Marvel. Everybody loves Spider-Man. Everybody loves the Clone Saga? Question mark? So Marvel just dropped what their next big Spider-Man event is going to be, spinning out of the Dead No More storyline, and it is going to be The Clone Conspiracy, written by Dan Slott with art by the amazing Jim Chung. It is of course going to focus on the Jackal, who was the villain of the original Clone Saga nonsense. If you don't know who the Jackal is, basically he's a bad guy who likes to clone Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker. But the best thing about the fact that we're getting more clones back is that Ben Reilly might show up, and Ben Reilly's a character who deserves to have a better story told about him, and this is a great chance to have it done because Dan Slott kills it on Spider-Man every single time. So this is what Dan Slott had to say about bringing the Clone Conspiracy to life and highlighting the Jackal again. The Jackal has always seemed obsessed with cloning Spider-Man and Gwen. He has a very narrow focus. That's led to a very interesting story in the past, but you have to stop and think. If you're the Jackal and you take science to the next level, what's more important than just cloning Gwen's and Peter's? What does this character want, and what is he going to do with this awesome science? So, I'm betting we are going to get iconic Spider-Man characters cloned that maybe shouldn't be cloned, a la Uncle Ben or Aunt May, or whoever is getting cloned, it's not just going to be your regular run-of-the-mill human spider hybrid clone. It's going to be something really mutated, really scary, and potentially roboticized. So this is going to be Marvel's next big event. Spider-Verse was a huge success, and I am super looking forward to it. Alright, let's hop to the other side of the comic book fence and talk about DC Comics. They have released their next round of solicits for their Rebirth titles, and we have a Batman Beyond Rebirth #1 that is going to be coming out. It is going to be coming out in September. It is going to be written by Dan Jurgens with art by Ryan Sook. Dan Jurgens is also writing Batman Beyond #16, which is closing out that story and that continuity. That is the one where Tim Drake in the future is Batman Beyond, not Terry McGinnis, and it's not clear yet from the solicit whether or not that is going to carry over into the Rebirth stuff. I'll read the solicit to you and you can decide. Tell me in the comments if you think it is going to be Tim or Terry under the mask. With the threat of Spellbinder behind them, Tim Drake and Terry McGinnis face an uncertain future. It's time to rebuild New Gotham, but who will wear the mantle of the city's defender? This is the biggest turning point of the series to date and sets the stage for everything to come. So, it's a toss-up right now between who it's going to be. Me, personally, I think it's going to be Terry McGinnis moving forward. I think we are, with the themes of rebirth, with the themes of going back to your roots and celebrating everything that everyone loved about this character, I think Tim Drake is going to retire the mantle of Batman Beyond. I think Terry's going to pick it back up, and I think he's who we're going to launch the series with going forward. I really like that we are including Batman Beyond in the Rebirth universe and in all of those going on. I think he's an excellent character, and I think that he deserves a place in the comics. And then, you know, maybe we'll get a cartoon spin-off out of it. Samurai Jack's coming back, so I can hope and dream and share. Tell me in the comment section if you are looking forward to Batman Beyond, and tell me who you think is going to be wearing the mantle. I would love for it to be Tim Drake. Tim Drake is my favorite Robin, but I think that his place is closer to Batman's side and less close to the future. Alright, who out there likes board games, right? Everybody likes board games. I like board games. So, who also likes Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Yeah? Well, there is going to be a Buffy board game that is going to be hitting shelves very, very soon. Jasco Gaines and Lynn Vander Studios are teaming up to bring Buffy the Vampire Slayer the board game. It is designed by Thomas M. Gofton, and it will be a cooperative experience for 1 to 6 players. So you can have your whole Scooby Gang together to take down all the baddies at Sunnydale. You're going to encounter vampires, demons, and a lot of other things that make their home in Sunnydale and attempt to open the Hellmouth. So it seems like you're going to be playing Buffy a la first 3 seasons as opposed to some of the later stuff that happens. If you go over to ComicBook.com and check out this article that we have up, you can see the test art for the box. It's really, really beautiful. Whoever did the painting captured Sarah Michelle Gellar's likeness to a very T. The cool thing about this is that it is coming out in October, which fits thematically, and if people like this game, if it sells well, if it does well, there's a lot of potential for spin-offs of other characters, like Catan, for example, is a game that broke in a huge way, and now there's all the different incarnations of Catan, so you could get an Angel game spinning out of this, maybe some other Whedonverse stuff. So if you like Buffy, if you like board games, pre-order it, pick it up, play it with your friends, tell everyone you know about it. It seems like it's going to be a great time. It's going to celebrate the mythos, and you can fold all of your friends in, so what more could you want? A 6-player co-op game is pretty good, and hopefully it'll take more than an hour, and everyone will have the most amazing time killing vampires in California. Alright, so we talked about DC, let's go back to that, but let's talk about the DC movies. Wonder Woman is coming out pretty soon. It's coming out next year. We got Suicide Squad before that. There are rumors currently swirling that something Wonder Woman is going to premiere at San Diego Comic-Con this year. That's a pretty safe bet. DC's going to have a huge presence there. DC's really good about sharing content, and at San Diego last year we got a lot of really cool reveals of the new DC Cinematic Universe. So hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of new content for the stuff moving forward. I think it's a safe bet that you're going to see some Suicide Squad stuff, but people are postulating that Wonder Woman is going to air there. Now, I want to calm everybody down for a little bit on that. We might see a trailer and we might see some footage because we know that there's footage out there. We've seen it in the past. But that movie's not done yet, guys. That movie's not fully edited yet. So as cool as it would be to see it, I think that's a really unrealistic expectation. And I want you to go in with your expectations at a healthy level. I think we'll see Gal Gadot up on stage. I think we'll probably see a fight scene because those are really energetic, and it's something that Zack Snyder's very known for, and since those movies are being formulated in his style, it would be a really smart thing to show. And I think we'll see an extended trailer because we've seen shorter trailers, but a longer, maybe a 2-minute cut would be totally kick-ass to see. I think if you're looking for a full movie or more lengthy clips, Suicide Squad is going to be your best bet because Suicide Squad comes out the next weekend, guys! The next weekend! So, Suicide Squad is in the can. And we know that they just started filming Justice League, and while I don't think we'll get a Justice League trailer, there is potential to get a teaser there. And if you're looking for more 1D content, 1D Batman and Superman, I think, are your best bets on who are going to be featured most heavily in that. Now, in the comments, are you looking forward to seeing Suicide Squad stuff? Are you looking forward to seeing Wonder Woman stuff? What is the DC Cinematic Universe movie that you are most excited about? I know for me, it is definitely Wonder Woman and Batman, but I think Suicide Squad has potential to break out in a really interesting way and maybe grab some of that Guardians of the Galaxy zeitgeist. If we do see the Wonder Woman movie, then you come and find me, and I will buy you a drink, and we will celebrate how amazing it was together, because I know that that movie is going to kick all kinds of butt. Alright, that is the end of the DC movie talk. Let us talk about our final story, Marvel movie talk! Hooray! So, Civil War just came out. Everybody saw it. I saw it twice. You probably saw it twice. It was amazing. It made so much money. And Team Cap and Team Iron Man was a big, big thing before and after. And there were some notable characters who were absent from Civil War. One of them being Thor, the god of lightning and hammers himself. And on a recent set visit, director Taika Waititi was asked whether he thought that Thor would be on Team Cap or Team Iron Man, the most paramount question, because Thor Ragnarok, if you don't know, is going to be a narrative that runs concurrently to Civil War, so that's going to be explaining where he was at that time. And what Taika Waititi said was that he did not think that Thor would be on either Team Cap or Team Iron Man. We've talked a little bit about this, he said. Personally, I feel that Thor would have started his own team. He wouldn't have liked the idea of those teams. But even though Thor is from outer space and he lives in a palace, part of me likes to think that he would side with Cap. So from the narrative standpoint of the Civil War movie, that puts Thor on the, quote, good guys team. Do you agree? Do you think that he would be on Team Cap or Team Iron Man? I think the idea that Thor would have postulated his own team and just been like, "The-day, nuts to you, heroes, I am over here leading," is a pretty funny idea. Waititi did also go on to say that he personally would have sided with Cap because, quote, "I don't trust billionaires." And I mean, that's as good a reason as any not to be on Iron Man's team. I thought that was very, very funny. He was also asked whether or not Loki was going to show up, and he said Loki's going to come back and lead them, quote, not going on to say who them was. So we definitely know that Tom Hiddleston is coming back in some way. Where we left him off, he was parading around as Odin, so that is a thread that definitely needs to be tied up in a beautiful golden bow by the end of Thor Ragnarok. So there you go. That is all of my stories for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, for these stories and so much more, head on over to theamazingcomicbook.com and check that out. Follow them on Twitter at ComicBook. Follow me on Twitter at Ashley V. Robinson. I love you all. Be safe and make good choices. Click.